The graph, here's how I remember the graph. Mark, S, don't make ridiculous puns. While I'm thinking of it, since we were standing room only yesterday, or readings after school, standing room only.
What?
Yeah. Some people got closed out. I will be here after school today.
Must have been popular reading.
Yeah. Without anyone taking it today, there's been the read that most people have taken over.
Are you gonna be in this room?
I'm gonna be in this room because I think we're gonna be able to hold, it's not gonna be another SRO crowd. Unless like people like Seth want to take it again, because he does lots of learning.
Third reading?
Wait, can I take it?
Should I already took?
Seth, for you,
You can do
I
whatever you
do
want.
anything.
Oh, that, I,
Gary, could you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, because sometimes I'm told I don't speak loud enough.
You're all good.
All right, and you see the screen, everything's going well?
Yep.
And by a miracle, I remembered to do it. Okay, great. All right. Here we go. Wolf, which of the following is true of a monopsony? It faces the labor supply curve that is horizontal in the competitive marketplace. You don't think so, you know. It's not, right? Because here is, or maybe not. Here is the monopsony. At perfect competition, it would be at this spot. It is not horizontal. Is it horizontal in the labor market? In perfect competition? Yeah, but this is a monopsony. So you're right. That is not true. Mr. Ball, is marginal factor cost the same as the supply curve? Absolutely not, right? You just look. I'm too late for you to walk. I'm too old. All right. They're not the same. This is when you really realize how old you are. I talked to a student who's thinking of retirement,
What?
like someone who was my student. He said, "When are you going to retire?" I said, "I don't know. Maybe I'll teach forever."
yeah, never want to decide. I think it's up to you.
All right, Lucas, at its optimal level of employment, it pays a wage rate higher than a competitive market.
No.
Okay, let's look at the graph to make sure. Lucas, what is the wage that a monopsony pays?
It would, my eyes bad, but it's the wage below. Yeah.
I feel for you, it's my eyes are bad too. So yeah, it'd be MRC equals MRP down to supply WM. And then at perfect competition, it's supply crossing demand, WPC. So no, it pays at a lower wage. That's wrong. The imposition of minimum wage thrill is D, right? Okay, I'll just take you now. Sorry, well, I usually would take you for your word, but I got a graphic to make sure. If I made this minimum wage. Okay, this is wage minimum. All right, so what I'm gonna do now, really, when I make this minimum wage, no one's gonna, you can't pay below, it's against the law. You're not gonna pay above. Why? You're mad that you have to pay more than the minimum wage. This really becomes the MRC curve equals minimum wage. I take the MRC curve to the supply. I would want to take it to demand, but even though we want this amount of workers, only this amount of workers are willing to work. So Q minimum wage Actually, it's the only market where minimum wage increases the amount of workers. So D is wrong. Now, Jordan, I'm not a smart guy, but if A, B, C, and D are wrong, it's gotta be Ellen, right? And just for you guys, to know, Ellen needs a comment. All right, the marginal factor cost curve lies above the supply curve. Yeah, that's true. And by the way, this is something that students have trouble with in monopolies and monopsony. You have to pay more wage to get more workers. In perfect competition, you don't, because it's everyone gets the same wage. But in monopsony, you got to increase wages. So E has an element. Questions on anything about monopsony or this drill? Yes, sir.
You said for these, minimum wage increases, number of jobs in comparison.
Yeah.
And a monopsony in comparison.
Yeah. Okay. Anyone else? All right, if you take out your packet from yesterday, we're going to be finishing it off. What? While you guys are searching, I'll start us with the prayer. Let's remember the Holy Spirit and then Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Dear God, thank you. I'm sure the guys thank you for allowing them to sleep in today and getting a good start on school, hopefully refreshed. And we can get ready for a great day today and Friday. St. Thomas Baptist LaSalle, live Jesus in our hearts. I'll take a prayer at the faculty meeting. I read it like it would take the whole class.
What is that? Any like keynotes, or is it all just a waste of time?
I know. I'm gonna say if you ask teachers, it was the best faculty meeting they ever had.
How was it food?
Huh? Yeah. I'd say the only teacher probably who left upset.
So something regarding us less.
So I had a one-on-one with Mr. Sembler, and we ironed out both our differences in a very professional manner. All right, here this week, Friday, you should finish chapter 24. You really should have had it finished like last week, but I'm just telling you that the notes are due Monday, quiz Tuesday. I want to have a unit test Thursday. I'm going to keep that in your mind, but it's going to be how we advance. Like if we're not ready, we're not taking, okay? So we're going to see how we advance. All right, we start really yesterday, started to go over chapter 24, and then I'll continue on today. Any questions? All right, and by the way, I want your notes due Monday, not Monday night, not Tuesday, not Thursday, and Monday. Just for me, because it's too much work. All right, by the way, 9.5 out of 10. It was the most 10s ever given in the class this year. Here are the things people do not understand. Disinflation. Disinflation is rising of prices just at a slower rate. So if inflation was 10% last year, and this year it's 8%, that's disinflation. Prices are still going up, but at a slower rate. Effects on inflation, lower purchasing power. Banks don't want to lend. I'll try to get in more practice problems. But like maybe we could have a full week of school 1 week before February. No, we won't. All right, savers. Savers are hurt if they're not making investments that outpace inflation. So when it says savers, now you could say, well, the savers put their money in crypto, but like now crypto's going down. So like the thing of it, what we're comparing is usually the bank, because the bank is safe as far as like it doesn't go down. So savers who put money in the bank get hurt by inflation because the bank rarely, if ever, keeps up with inflation. And right now, and by the way, it's a reason the stock market does well. Because like, there's no place to put your money right now. If you put your money in the bank, it's like, you got like, yeah, we're at 6% inflation. I think the bank's paying like a 0.5%. All right. So we might have went over this, but the inflation rate is the percentage in prices. That whenever you see inflation rate, think year 2 minus year 1 over year 1 times 100. That's what's going to get you the percentage change in prices, like year 2 minus year 1 over year 1. So that's the percentage. And then price indexes, which we'll spend. Now we know one inflation index so far. What did we learn? Which one? GDP deflator. Okay, we're going to learn today the consumer price index, which is the most popular of the inflation indexes. Okay. All right, now, same thing as the base year. If they say it's 100, that's the base year. All right, if the base year is always 100. Sometimes I'll say the base year is year 1. Sometimes I'll say 2020, the CPI is 100. You have to realize that's the base year. All right, now, how's the consumer price index? They take a basket of the 300 most popular bought goods in the United States. Mr. Campbell, if they're taking the 300 most popular goods in the United States, or there could be some foreign imports in that basket. Yeah, where in the GDP deflator, are there any foreign imports? No! So here we're measuring the most popular bought by households. In the GDP deflator, do we put tanks? Government spending. I don't think most households buy tanks. So even though someone thought there was last class, that most of us don't have a tank in our backyard. Okay. All right, here is the formula, price, and this, by the way, should say current market basket over price of base year market basket, and they're all times 100. Okay. So I give you like the 2-product example. So if it's movie and pizzas, the base year is 20. So I'm gonna put that on the bottom. 2009 is 25. So it's gonna be 25 over 20, and it's gonna give you a CPI index of 125. All right. Now, if Seth asked me, Mr. Bressel, what is the inflation rate between 2009 and 1997? It's year 2, 125, or new, minus old 100, over old times 100. So I'm going to get 25%, and that is the inflation rate that they're asking. Okay? Any questions so far? Yes. And here's why. Well, if the price of the market basket, like say here, is 20 over the base year, it's going to be 20 over 20. So it's going to be 1 times 100. All right. All right. Here is just the breakdown of the market basket. 41.8% household housing. Then you have transportation, medical care, recreation, others. All right, here's what I'd like you to do. I'd like you to get the cost of the market basket, which is all you're doing is adding up the 3 items in year 1, year 2, year 3. Should take you 30 seconds. I'll give you 30 seconds, and then we'll just quickly go over that. Seth, year one is? Ryan, year two?
Oh, five.
Riley, year three? Okay, so we're all there. We're gonna just now use the, in a minute or two to figure out, some other things. Okay. All right, so now, if year one is the base year, can you figure out the CPI index for these 3 years? Okay, I'll give you a minute to do that. You good? All right, Kenny, year one. All right, Kenny, did you have to work that, figure that out? No, because it's today's year, it's always going to be 100. So, but let's just see, that would have been 3/3, which is you 1 times 100. Okay, who's got year two? Year two, year two, right? 166 or 167, right? Okay. Yeah, just 167. All right, and he's gonna go 5/3, which is 1 2/3. We're good there. Oh, you just want to get 3, good. 200, you had 6/3 equals 2 times 100, right? Any questions on that? There, as you see, seems easy. By the way, the numbers might be like a little different on the AP exam, but not much. Because they know you're not using a calculator, but they really want to know, do you know how to do it? They're not like interested, could you do higher math? Okay. All right, the problems with CPI, is it in your notes? All right, great, I don't have to go over it. All right, you know how to read, right? Here's what I like, yes, sir. Huh? Well, if it's multiple choice, obviously they could give you one or the other, right? And then the other way, if you show you work, I would round up. You know, to 167. Usually, to be truthful, they give you even numbers. All right, here's all I want you to do. Figure out nominal and real GDP. If you don't know how to do it with these numbers, ask the guy next to you for help. If he doesn't know how to do it, ask Seth. Yeah, yes. You think I was sending him down the dark road? I didn't sound for it. All right, Drew, starting with you, we're just gonna go up your row and just give me the nominal GDP. So nominal GDP for one. All right, 10 times 4, 40.
50.
All right, so it's output times current price is 50. Grill?
90.
Okay, so we got 40, 50, 90, 160. Okay, any questions on that? Just output times price. Mr. Wall, starting with it, just, Mr. Wall, could you tell us how you got it real? And so the base price is gonna be 4, right? And that's gonna be, so the first one is, okay? Love it. 40, go. All right, so now you have 50, everything's times 4.
80.
Okay, all right, so real, everything is times the base year price. Any questions? All right, I put up the GDP deflator there for you. Let's do the last column, GDP deflator, okay?
They didn't give us an extra sleep this morning.
Huh? Ryan, you would be in detention all the time.
Yeah. It's not quite fine.
You would be in permanent detention.
Look at you.
And if you fell asleep in detention, does Mr. Mitchell give you detention?
I have no clue.
You probably would. All right, Pat, I'm gonna start with you. Could you give us the first GDP deflator? It's 100, it's the base year, right? So it's gonna be 40 over 40, is 100. Let's just go down the line.
100.
Huh?
100 again.
No, it's
Oh,
not.
wait, no, sorry. That's not 100.
Okay.
So 125.
125. Yeah, so it should be 50, right? It should be 50 over 40. All right. Next.
150.
Okay, 90 over 60, right? Which is 1.5, and it's gonna be 150. Lucas? 200. 160 over 80. 200, and Seth, did you get to the last one? 100 over 100, it's gonna be 100. Any question on that? Okay. All right. Here's what I'd like us to do. Using the GDP deflator, I'd like us to find so the year 2, we're going to compare it to year 1. The year 3, we're going to compare it to year 2. The year 4 to 3. Okay? So you're just comparing it to the previous year. Okay? And even though you guys should try to do it without calculators, because you can't get the calculator on the or on your unit test. I let you use it on the quiz because they have ridiculous numbers to develop. Are these gonna come out to be ridiculous numbers? No.
Like making that.
Huh? Nick, start out with you, just what your row. For year two,
20%?
so it's 125, right? Minus 100. Over 100, right? I think that'd be 25%, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you got 150, right? Minus 125 over 125, so it gets 25 over 125, that's 1/5, right? 20%. Okay. Jordan? 33. So you got 200, right? Minus 150. 50, so you got 50 over 150, which is a third, 33. Right. Tom?
400 minus 200 over 100. So it's negative 100%.
So you got, so prices decreased by 100%, right?
Yes.
So, by the way,
That would be deflation.
that's deflation, right? Oh, yeah. Okay. So it's new 100 minus old over 200. Then you say 50%, right? Yeah. Okay. Any questions on that?
So when we normally do this, when we're doing it off of year one, or is it just like this typically, or are they gonna?
No, I think usually they would say, like, remember the one that I showed you at the beginning, which had like 2007 compared to 1997? Or they would say, what is year 4 compared to today's year?
Why do we use a GDP deflator instead of real GDP inflation?
Huh? Because the GDP deflator, if you use real GDP, they don't have like, I don't think they'll show you inflation. Like I think when you put it against, because real GDP is constant, so it's just gonna tell you how much you produce. So when you do the nominal versus the real, you get what you produce versus the production and the price increase. Any other questions? All right, have a great day. Gary, any questions?
Nope, all good. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Hope you're back soon.
Me too.
Nick, you look-